What if the urge isn't the problem? Reacting to it automatically is. Stay with us because there's a window where almost every drink gets chosen. I'm going to show you how to catch it and make another choice. It's the ultimate craving tool. Welcome to Sober and Lit,
the podcast for women who want to get sober, stay sober, and live a life that's way more lit than it ever was with wine.
We're your hosts, Ruby and Susan, two alcohol freedom coaches keeping it real with stories, tools, and zero judgment.
Whether you're sober curious or all in, you're in the right place.
Let's feel lit, alcohol free. Welcome back to the Sober and Lit podcast. Hi.
Welcome.
Have you ever had those moments where you're not planning to drink and then suddenly you're drinking? Oh, I have this drink in my hand. Yeah. So we need tools, for those random Tuesday nights or going to the grocery store. Yeah. Cravings, they feel sudden and they're emotional and physical. Urges are a lot of times our nervous system, it's out of regulation and we're not making our decisions. We have this brain, this amazing brain, and we have about 7 seconds where our prefrontal cortex, our, decision-making part of our brain goes offline and we want to try to catch it. And our brain just wants relief, maybe from a long day of work. And, alcohol's this learned solution. It's this coping tool. So you're not necessarily craving the wine. You're craving that state of change that you just want to reward or to relax or to relieve stress. Yeah. So Susan, in your story, what do urges feel like in your body?
When I was thinking back, it just felt like kind of a fire in my brain where it was anxiousness in my chest, sort of a 3-alarm fire in my brain. I really need wine to calm down. Even my husband would go have a drink. It makes you more normal, which didn't help things, because I was a little bit high strung. And I didn't have any other tools really, or any other way to kind of calm down. I would say, I was all twirled up. That was the language that I used. I would get all twirled up. And then the way that I would bring myself back down was a glass of wine, which was fine if it was a glass of wine. And that's how it is in the beginning. It's it works until it doesn't, right? And then it was 2 glasses of wine, then 3 glasses of wine. So it goes, it only goes one direction, as we talked about, So that's how it felt like in my body.
Yeah, for me, it felt more like I'm thinking about my brain. It was almost like telling me what to do. It just was giving me instructions. One of the stories I've shared before is I have, my brain saying, don't go buy wine while I'm, getting my car keys. Don't pick up your car keys. I'm holding my car keys, having this battle. And I didn't have the tools either. And I would just on autopilot, go to the store, buy the wine. And the whole time thinking, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to do this. So yeah. So I've created this cravings tool that I want to share with the listeners. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is your craving tool, Ruby?
Yeah. I call it SNAP. So think of SNAP, and the S stands for senses, which I'll get more into this in a minute. N is name it. The A is ask, and the P is pick. Just think of that senses, name, pick. Or ask, pick. Yeah. So it's not, it's a motivation tool. It's not, it's like a way to interrupt. And it creates this space between the urge, that first, and then the action, the automatic doing something. It interrupts that autopilot. And we have about 7 seconds and we want to interrupt it.
7 seconds for what? I'm
7 seconds before your autopilot turns on.
Kicks in. Okay.
Kicks in. Yeah. Thanks for asking for clarifying that. Yeah. So I want to just do a little quick plug here because I created this bracelet that goes with this SNAP tool. And so if this resonates for you, go ahead and get my bracelet at coachingwithruby.com/snap. coachingwithruby.com/snap for your free bracelet. All right, so let's get started here. The S stands for senses. So you want to regulate first. So you just can't think clearly when you're triggered. So you want to go into your body and think about your senses. So I would say, what do you see? Like, say you're somewhere out or you're in your kitchen, but like, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? And just feel in your body. So you're going to go through all 5 of your senses. And this is just about resetting your nervous system. It's not fixing anything right now. It's just like calming you down. You could even take a breath or 2. So again, the takeaway here is you're not solving any cravings. You're just calming your body. Susan, like, what do you try like to calm your body, your sensory grounding tool?
I really love going out and putting my feet in the grass. That was one, just getting outside into nature always grounds me. Like, so if you can get outside, just go put your feet in the grass. And I know that that's worked with a lot of my clients. They're like, wow, it just feels so good to get out there, hug a tree, go just put the sunshine on your face, listen for the birds. Like you said, get into your senses, listen for the birds, feel the sunshine on your face, feel the grass under your feet. We're going into spring. So now the grass will reappear from underneath the snow, at least where I am. And that is really helpful to me too, because I get also out of my environment. If I'm in the kitchen and having the urge to drink, going outside gets me even out of the room where the wine potentially is, or my keys if I need to pick them up and go to the liquor store.
I love that tool too, to put your feet in the grass. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot a main part of my snap tool, you guys. It's you snap your fingers or you snap a bracelet. That's why I want to give you the bracelet. It's this bracelet that you can snap. So it's like you interrupt, you snap your fingers or you snap the bracelet, and then you go into your senses for S. And then the N is name your why or your goal. It's like keeping your prefrontal cortex online. Again, we want to keep it online. We want to keep not letting your autopilot go, kick in. So it could sound like, wine is not healthy and my goal is to be healthy. Like, what is your why? Why do you want to not drink? You maybe made that choice in the morning. I'm not going to drink today. So I love like getting in touch with your why. And it's not about rules. It's not about, just saying no. It's really connecting to your future self, your long-term goals. Maybe it's health, peace, presence, pride, sleep. What's your why? So you pick one of your whys and you have that be your N for name it. And the key idea here is to, again, bring your prefrontal cortex back online and reconnect with your goals, your long-term goals. It's not just your short-term, I want to feel better for the next 20 minutes kind of goal. Yeah. All right. A, I want to keep going because A is ask questions. Again, we want to now keep this. We've got our prefrontal cortex engaged and we want to, and this curiosity like shrinks the urges. It re-engages your thinking brain. And so some examples that you could ask, and you can ask whatever questions you want because you want to just keep it engaged. It's like, how will I feel tomorrow if I drink? Or what do I actually need right now? That's a really good one. What do I really need right now? Or what's a better choice I could make? Instead of wine, what's another beverage? What's a better choice? And again, this is just to keep your prefrontal cortex engaged. Yeah. What question do you think would help you, Susan, in an urge? And this can work on food, you guys. Like if you're, this can work on a lot of things.
It can work on anything. Yeah. I was thinking that for me, even now, doing the snap and then thinking about automatic negative thoughts like that I might be having. So I could use it for that right now in my life. But for me, what really worked is my mantra, which was never question the decision. So if I were using this tool back when I was drinking, I could snap and then never question the decision. And then that sort of, that helped me just turn and make a different choice in that moment. I just went, wait, nope, I don't even engage with that thought. It's sort of like speak to the hand, it's like never question the decision. And then that really helped me, honestly. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I love that. Never question the decision.
That was my mantra, but you can come up with your own mantra that works for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. My mantra was always like patience, patience, patience. Like, because I wanted it so fast. I wanted everything immediately, but it took time, to really rewire my neural pathways. And really, this takes time. You do these kind of tools over and over again, repetition, and it gets easier and easier. And pretty soon you can be like, senses, okay, name it. I really want my health. And then, ask a question. What do I really need right now? And then the P is for pick your heart. So the P in SNAP, pick your heart.
I love that. Yeah.
I love that too. And actually that's what the bracelet says is pick your heart. Now you want to, it's like a pause. So again, we're pausing here. We're not reacting. We're not going into autopilot. We're like staying calm in our bodies. We're naming our future self goals. We're asking questions. And then you pick your heart. Now, this is you make a decision. You really can make a decision, a different decision than your brain thought of 7 seconds earlier or however, a few minutes earlier, however long this takes you. Because it's uncomfortable to sit with a craving. So that's one choice, right? Is just pick the wine and do it like an instant gratification. But it's uncomfortable to wake up the next day, beating yourself up, saying, oh my gosh, I drank again. I did that for decades, every single day. That was probably 10,000 times. I don't know, where I beat myself up in the morning, really just so mad at myself. So pick your heart. It's hard to drink. It's hard to sit in that craving and that discomfort, but pick it. You get to pick your heart. Drinking just postpones the discomfort. It really, it's like instant gratifications versus delayed gratification. We really want to hear, the key point here is to tap into your long-term goals, to tap into that future self. And to really, instead of just reacting from panic, I want you to pause, and you get to decide. You really do. I know we just go to autopilot and just like that zombie, I'm going to drink. It's just what you've always done. But this is the work that we talk about as coaches, where in that moment of the craving where you want to jump out of your skin, you can take control of your body and your brain, respond instead of react and make a decision. So again, you could what could you do in that moment? You could choose a different beverage, like an NA beverage. You could take a break, go outside, put your feet in the grass, like Susan said. You could excuse yourself if you're at a restaurant. You could have an internal dialogue. There's so much you can do, but pick your heart. It's really about, you don't want to wake up hungover. That's hard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. There's so many P's, pick your heart, pause. And I would also add play it forward. If you have the pause, then you can use the tactic play it forward, which is kind of what you're talking about. Is play it forward. What will happen if I do drink? Play it forward. I like to say play it forward 2x. What will happen if I don't drink? And because I want to end on the positive one. And not stay in that negative mindset of oh yeah, I'm going to drink one and then I'm going to have 5 and then, and stay, because that's negative, makes you feel negative. But then if you say, how will I feel if I don't drink? You're like, okay, then I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to be able to look myself in the eye tonight. And then I'm going to sleep super well. I'm going to wake up in the morning refreshed and feeling so proud of myself. And if you have a coach, I can DM my coach and tell her I did it, which I love it when my clients do that, where they're like, I threw it all away today. Or, I did it last night and I woke up feeling great this morning. I love those messages. So, so many P's. So you could add play it forward to the P's too, as an idea.
I love that idea. Thank you, Susan. Yeah. Pause, meaning not react, but get present. Present is another one. We get lots of P. There's P's. There's so many P's everywhere. There. But pick your heart. I love the concept pick your heart, because it's hard. It's hard to be married. It's hard to be single. It's hard to be overweight. It's hard to keep fit and going to the gym. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to not eat French fries, right? But it's hard. For me, I use pick your heart, and I use the SNAP for food as well. So I'm going to give you a client story that she shared with me, which I love, because I've been sharing this SNAP tool with my clients, for probably a year now. And I love it. So what my client said, we'll call her Linda. And what she really wanted was a reward after a long day of work, so she could just feel better. That's kind of, and it was just her go-to, right? So she kept trying wine as the coping tool, but it just didn't work. And she always felt worse the next day. Like we talked about, like beating yourself up. But then when she realized like that wine was the thing that was keeping her stuck, I told her about the snap. And again, you snap it. You can snap a bracelet or a rubber band, or you can snap your fingers. Yeah, you can go around the grocery store snapping your fingers. But so she said it worked. Like she was able to use the tool, and she left the store without wine. And yes, she was celebrating, and she's like, I just left the store without wine. And yeah, I love those kind of messages from clients. And now she just has that confidence in the grocery store. Once you do it once, you can do it again, but you can also use the snap again, and just, you can use it in your kitchen. You can use it in the grocery store. But yeah, she just finally feels better and more confident. And that's like really like a first step towards confidence, when you can leave the grocery store without wine. It's really, really cool. So I call this the ultimate cravings tool because it works for me, for my clients. I love it so much. Well, Susan.
Yeah.
We are at the place where we talk about feeling lit, and what are you doing lately to feel lit in your life? I'm so curious.
Well, right now I've been doing some jumping therapy to remineralize my bones. It's sort of a longevity thing. I mean, I'm glad that I actually have been doing this for years through the gym that I've been going to, as we have a lot of high impact, high intensity, jumping exercises, but I'm just sort of doing it daily where I do 10 or 20 jumps, like hard impact, because the stress on your bones helps them realize that they need to be stronger. And so it really is proven. I read a bunch of PubMed articles, which I always want to get the science behind it to see, is this really true? And it really helps remineralize your bones, increases your bone density, especially around your hips and your legs, which is where most women have like hip fractures and stuff. So you could actually use that too as a thing in your drinking. You could, when you have an urge to drink, you could jump around the kitchen, do 10 jump squats, or, go outside and jump rope or whatever as just a distraction, but it's also good for your bones. So yeah.
Well, thank you. This is like a public service announcement, because I'd never heard the jumping, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, bones, as we age, we really want, you hear that, I've fallen and I've broken my, hip, kind of, for older women, especially. And I'm going to try this. I'm going to research, and it
has helped postmenopausal women with increasing some bone density. So just staying active. So jumping and including that in my workouts and just in my daily life. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Silly. Speaking of P words, that's the only problem with jumping is you got to keep your pelvic floor muscles. You got to do your pelvic floor exercises as well as the jumping. So. Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I always learn so much from this part of our episode. I learned from you, and I hope you learn from me. And and I hope our listeners are learning. Like, there's so many things to do to feel lit, feel good. Well, this has been such a fun episode. In closing, I want to just do an overview of what we talked about. So the SNAP ultimate cravings tool tactic is retraining your brain. And so again, the S stands for senses, where you want to regulate. The N stands for name your why, and it's to remember your why. Remember. The A is to ask a question. So you want to get super curious, really, how do you want to feel tomorrow? Or how, what's something you can drink instead, ask questions. And then the P is to pause and pick your heart, like choose. Yeah. You choose in the moment. This is the work. You actually can keep your brain online and make a choice and not go into autopilot. So again, love it. I love it. Before you go, get your free bracelet. Yeah. So it says pick your heart on the bracelet, and I created it as something tangible to help you remember this tool in real life, in the moment. And I'll just mail it to you. So if you're driving and you want to try to remember, hopefully this is easy to remember. It's coachingwithruby.com/snap, SNAP.
Awesome. Yeah.
And if you want more cravings tools, we have so many tools in all of our podcasts, but I picked going back to episode 25, an early one. You drink when you're bored. Yeah.
We have so many good early episodes, drinking when you're bored. There was another one too. What is it that I was thinking would be a good one? It's our favorite tactics and tools, and it's episode 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our favorite tactics and tools right there. So yeah, we have so many to help you. So we hope that you will go back and listen to older episodes if you're a newer listener, or re-listen.
Or binge, start from episode 1.
Yeah.
We really have listeners that they've gotten alcohol free and it's really helped them. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And remember to do something today to feel lit.
Thanks so much for listening to the Sober and Lit podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you would subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps get the word out.
And remember, do something today to help you feel lit.
See you next week.